Hey everyone, my name's Joe from MakeUseOf.com, and this is the Doogee S70 rugged gaming phone. It's a rugged gaming phone which can also be purchased with the G1 Bluetooth Gamepad. Let's see what it can do. The S70 is very similar to many other Chinese smartphones. It has a 6-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 2160 by 1080 pixels. It sports the 8-core Helio P23 processor with a Mali G71 MP2 GPU, 64GB of storage and 6GB of RAM. It features Android 8.1 and a combination of metal, plastic and leather body. Visually, it's not much to look at, but the 5500 mAh battery ensures the S70 has a significant heft to it, and measuring 6.76 by 3.18 by 0.53 inches, it's not exactly the smallest phone either. Charged over USB Type-C with the included 12V 2A charger, it takes 1 hour 40 minutes to charge. The chunky body and protected ports help the S70 achieve the IP68 or IP69K rating. This means it's dustproof and waterproof at 1.5 meters for up to 24 hours. The rear of the phone contains a dual 12+5 megapixel camera, and the Sony sensor supports a maximum aperture of f1.8. A maximum video resolution of 1080p at 30 frames per second is rather underwhelming. The camera module is raised slightly away from the main body of the phone, and this also houses the fingerprint sensor. You'll find the usual power and volume buttons on the right, but on the left you'll also find a custom button. This can be configured to do anything you like, such as open the camera app, but by default it puts the S70 into Game Boost mode. This stops incoming calls and purges the RAM to free up space for games. It also loads the Game Boost menu, which lists any installed games. The S70 is priced at $280. The Doogee G1 Gamepad, however, is where things get interesting. Designed for the S70, although it will work with any phone, the gamepad connects over Bluetooth and expands to gently cradle your device. The G1 has a built-in 400 mAh battery, and you can expect to achieve around 40 hours of playtime. Annoyingly, the controller is charged through the included micro USB cable, so you'll need to carry 2 cables around with you to charge both the phone and the controller. The inclusion of Android 8.1 is an excellent choice. This is much better than Android 7, which usually comes on this sort of phone, and the fingerprint sensor works nearly instantly. The interface feels fast and responsive, and web pages load at lightning speed. Everything generally feels fast and snappy, which is more than can be said about phones sporting the same processor. Android sits underneath a very light Doogee skin, which adds aggressive memory monitoring, minor styling tweaks and a few apps. Moving on to the cameras, there's not much to get excited about. They deliver average image quality, and we can't keep up with any flagship model. Colours look good and the focus is fast, with little to no hunting, but that's about it. There's a lack of contrast, images look washed out and lacking in sharpness. Image quality gets even worse for video. There's no option for 4K or slow motion, videos are less sharp than photos, and suffer many of the problems which photos suffer with, only much worse. The chunky design, thick rubber corner protectors and metal edges keep the S70 safe from harm. 4th generation Gorilla Glass keeps the screen safe, and the raised rubber edges help to lessen any impact from a fall. The IP68 rating means the S70 is waterproof down to a depth of 1.5 meters. However, be aware that this only applies to fresh water. Any kind of other liquid such as beer, seawater, anything else may cause more damage. The G1 Gamepad makes gaming far more enjoyable, but it also works with any phone. 2 spring-loaded grips expand to accommodate a huge variety of phones. On the left you'll find a clickable joystick, D-pad and power button, along with a status light, and both the left and right feature a rear trigger, with the left benefiting from an additional bump trigger. Made from sturdy plastic, with a QR code on the back for quick connection, the G1 Gamepad is not waterproof and is certainly not as rugged as the S70. Despite having an old but still capable processor, the S70 can keep up with modern demanding games. This is thanks in part to its GPU. PUBG Mobile ran very smoothly, as do older games such as Dead Trigger 2, and of course simple games like Temple Run. The aggressive memory management helps here, but you're unlikely to find many games to really tax it. Despite being sold as a gaming phone, the S70 isn't really that special. Yes, it's pretty good, but most modern phones have no problems running games. The Game Boost mode is nice, but that's just a software tweak. It may not be the prettiest phone, or even the lightest, but it's surprisingly good. Despite having a rather average processor, the S70 has a huge amount of RAM and an outstanding screen. It has a generous battery, quick charging and a modern Android version. The G1 Gamepad is an excellent device and it works over Bluetooth. Being a Chinese phone, there are a few minor niggles you may want to consider. The minor UI changes may not be to everyone's taste, and occasional weird Chinese messages appear, and it's heavy and it's a bit boring. Despite these downsides, the S70 represents an excellent alternative to the myriad of notch sporting Android phones. It's a great all-rounder, but really designed for gaming. You can't really go too wrong with this phone. Thanks for watching, and make sure you visit the link in the description below to read our full review. Make sure you like and subscribe if you've not done so already. Thanks for sticking around. If you visit the link in the description below, we're running a giveaway contest where you can win this phone with the G1 Gamepad. All you have to do is enter our contest at the end of the review, and if you want an extra entry, enter the code Fortnite into the box.